In this video we will go over all of the shotguns in Mass Effect Andromeda, do some tests and see what the best shotgun is for you, as well as the augments to put in it and the mods you should look at. If you find these videos helpful, be sure to hit the like button. It helps me work out the best content to make for you fine folk. Without further delay, let's get right into it. Shotguns are best used for close range obliteration. They should be hard hitting and effective against big beefy armoured up goons. For our testing this time we'll be going with rank 2 of each weapon and outfitting them with the augments appropriate to each weapon. Due to a comment in one of the previous videos suggesting this, we will also be trying the Scattershot with some behaviour modifying augments. The vintage heatsink will not be playing a role in the shotguns due to a shotgun having unlimited ammo being massively less important than other guns, as they are close range weapons and therefore in almost all situations you'll be very close to an ammunition point. This logic could be argued when it comes to insane difficulty, where bringing yourself into the open for a short time to get ammo will often mean death. The shotguns in today's test are Dhan, Disciple, Hesh, M23 Katana, N7 Crusader, N7 Piranha, Riegar Carbine, Ruzad, Scattershot and Venom. To keep it simple, there will be a straight selection of augments to use. This can of course be changed to more suit the individual's needs, but this selection will fit best for the normal player. The first is double mod slot augment. This is the definite must have for every single crafted item. It's just that powerful. Being able to put 2 more mods in your weapon is OP. The second is shield oscillator. This augment will give you 25% shield charge on clip empty. This waves in power dependent on the weapon, as each has its own clip size, but it is super powerful on all of them, as you'll be using it at a close range taking hits from the enemy. Third and potential 4th and 5th slots can be stacked with the kinetic coil for 3% extra damage per one. There is certainly something to be said about mixing both the plasma charge system and seeking plasma system, but that is massively dependent on which gun, due to the amount of projectiles they fire, and will be explored toward the end of the video. For now, as a base, all guns will have the aforementioned augments. The Dhan is a fantastic and very powerful weapon. Facing off against an IROC, it makes short work of armour, but its real value is against most foot troops. The Chosen are taken out in single shot at rank 3 and above, and most shielded enemies will be taken down in 2 to 3 shots at rank 2. Shooting a large ball of energy death makes this a strange shotgun. No spread, just single target. It also has no seeking of any kind, so requires some accuracy. On the plus side, with its super high damage being the most powerful out of the lot, and its mid-range capabilities. It has a clip size of 2 by default, which is enough to take out most enemies dependent on rank, and its rate of fire is acceptable. It leaves very little room for error as far as missing the odd shot though, as each shot has so much power to either gain or lose. This is my personal favourite and is part of my loadout. The Disciple was surprisingly fun, a small yet powerful shotgun when it comes to armour. It seemed to take out the IROC quicker than the Dhan. For general foot soldiers and shields however, it was much worse. Taking 3 shots to down a Chosen is a bit underpowered, and it didn't do all that well against shields. The clip size is kind of in the middle with an adequate rate of fire. It is an okay shotgun but nothing special, not generally worth crafting in my opinion, but it is a weapon that gets unlocked as you progress, meaning you get the blueprints and don't need to research them, which is handy. The M23 Katana felt like an underpowered Disciple with a slightly high clip size, which it pretty much is. It took a little while to take down the IROC in single combat and took the full damage from 3 shots to take down a Chosen. The range is more of a factor in this shotgun than most. You need to be quite close to the damage to do anything, and even then it's mediocre. On the plus side, this is one of the 2 shotguns you gain a blueprint for without spending research and is unlocked through progress. The N7 Crusader was a surprise. It performed badly against an armoured target, this being the IROC, but very well against Chosen and shielded enemies. It is a single projectile gun like the Dhan that may actually perform a little better at very close combat, though not so much at medium range. With a medium clip size and good power, this is a fairly well balanced weapon that also holds more extra ammo than the average, which is handy in some situations. For those worried about missing the odd shot, this could be your answer to the Dhan. The Piranha is a real contender, catering to those who just want to sprint in guns blazing. It's powerful but not by singular shot. Its power comes from its automatic high rate of fire action. medium damage that does fairly well against the armoured targets. You have high amounts of ammo per clip and high extra ammo, but you will burn through it faster than most, emptying a clip in seconds. A Chosen may take a few shots to down, but those shots happen super quick and you can get away with missing the odd shot. I found this gun particularly useful for obliterating an Architect's legs the other day, taking down half its health with a single clip. Of course that's with the combat clip size skill, and it was rank 4, but it outperformed the Dhan in that situation. The Riegar Carbine is a fun but very circumstantial one. It performed badly against armoured targets, only starting to do real damage once it wound up a little. Fortunately, in the case of some of the hardest targets like an IROC, the gun doesn't have time to reach its potential before you have to dodge and jump away from attacks. Against the single foot troops however, especially ones with the shields, it just tears through them. A Chosen is taken down a little slower than a Dhan or Crusader, but a large shielded minigun toting Ket goes down almost the same amount of time at close range. Range is a big thing with this gun. This gun is fun and very good at a specific troop type, but as a viewer pointed out the other day, it's the army you need to worry about, not the shielded troops. The Ruzad was woefully underwhelming. It looks badass, it sounds badass, you'd expect it to be a friggin' beast, but unfortunately while its shot seems not much more powerful than a Piranha, it has a tiny clip size and the longest reload time I've ever seen. The IROC's attack cooldown was shorter than the reload time, making it almost impossible to reload in that situation. That being said though, it is entertaining as hell watching the knockback occur on a killing blow. The Chosen and their shielded brethren went flying upon death as if they'd been hit by a truck. Hilarious and fun. If only it didn't take the damage of 2 full headshots to do it before reloading for an hour then going to the next. It did damn near ignore the shielded fella's shield though. The Hesh was a strange one. It did quite well on the IROC, nice high rate of fire that makes up for its low to medium damage, with a fairly quick reload speed. The range is close but it's not terrible, but it performed very badly on the foot troops, taking up 4 shots to take them down. It felt a little underpowered and too quick to fire to be a useful shotgun. The Scattershot was just awful. Its terribly weak shots, even at close range, were pathetic. How I didn't die taking down the IROC I have no idea, but I thought it was maybe just bad against armour. But it's equally as bad against everything else, taking forever to down simple troops. Another thing is that its high capacity heatsink style clip goes badly with the shield oscillator, so I would advise using either shield sensors which give you 25% chance for half a clip back, aerial performance optimizer for 35% extra damage while hovering, or a consumable enhancing augment. A viewer did point out that for insanity in a Vanguard build, the Scattershot with the oscillator and double mod to use a clip size reducing mods makes this a very good weapon for just giving you shields back. In that situation the damage doesn't matter all that much, it's all about the shield. I was quite disappointed in the Venom. Its grenade launcher / shotgunnery doesn't really work all that well. It's very underpowered. Hitting that IROC was scarcely better than the Scattershot. Lots of fire and explosions with little fallout. This is a weapon to avoid in all honesty. It took the entire ammunition capacity to actually kill the IROC. I tried it a second time, this time charging the shots, which was far more dangerous when attempting to dodge, and this time I actually ran out of ammo before it died, which was confusing. As per the viewer's suggestion, I tried the Scattershot with Seeking Plasma System and Plasma Charge System both in the WEP. I also put a double mod slot and shield sensors. The damage was far better than the standard Scattershot, but still nothing special. It is outperformed by half of these other shotguns in all but one way. I could see this setup being incredibly useful for insane difficulty. As it has Seeking, you can remain in cover and just shoot charge shots above the enemy you're after, and they will shoot up and curve around the cover to hit it without you taking any fire at all. This is a purely tactical setup and isn't any fun at all, but it is certainly a valid method for progressing insanity. Now some mods to put in. Fairly straightforward, but depends hugely on your playstyle to what you may wish to put in your 4 slots. The main facts are whether you care about item weight, headshot accuracy, clips and so on. Clip size in my opinion is the most important to never encumber, but for the adepts out there you'll be focusing on keeping things light, and you can carry a shotgun and be light my friends. Full guide on mods coming soon, though it's a simple concept. In summary, each buff that comes on a mod have a few uncommon variants that make the buff better, but at the cost of something else, so clip size, weight, accuracy, etc. There is only 4 base kinds, so you need a receiver, which will increase the penetration of your shotgun, a barrel, which will just straight up increase the damage, a melee optimizer, which will increase your melee damage, and the most important in my opinion, the spare clip, which increases the spare ammo you can carry. Sure, you'll be around the ammo pods enough to not have to worry about the vintage heatsink on this specific weapon, but more ammo leeway is always a big plus. Each one of these mods has at least one other version that makes it slightly better while giving you a debuff to stuff like headshot damage bonus, weapon weight, clip size, etc, and in general, they aren't worth the debuff. Some of the top picks out of all of these BFGs are the Dhan and the Piranha. The Dhan is perfect for just huge damage but requires a certain amount of precision, as missing a shot can cost you. In boss fights I like to keep this on standby as soon as the shield is down, power this into its face and then unload every charge of concussive shot I have for a crap ton of burst damage. The Piranha is showing slightly better on armoured targets, but the DPS is spread out a lot. This is good for missing the occasional shot as you haven't dropped much power, but the main reason I'm not generally a fan is my primary use for a shotgun is to sprint out amongst the havoc and pop some ket off as I run through wildly. The Dhan takes them out instantly, whereas the Piranha may require some stalling to finish off. I feel it's less fluid. Although it is a must-have in my book specifically for architects, as that beast unloaded on the leg takes it halfway down in a clip. In a perfect world, Piranha versus Remnant, Dhan versus Biological. They also both have quite good range for shotguns, stretching out into the mid-range, though the Dhan has a slight edge there. I hope this guide has helped you, and if it has, please drop a like, it really helps both me and the channel. And maybe think about subscribing for lots more Mass Effect Andromeda content. I'm in no way short on ideas, and the videos have only just started for this game. I'm overwhelmed by the influx of new people that have taken the time to subscribe and talk about this game they enjoy. You guys are awesome, and I hope you all have an awesome day.